So we have seen now the resolution of vectors. We have seen what is unit vector. Now we will go to the next step. We have also seen how vectors can be added. Addition of vectors. We have seen the equation of addition of two vectors. Now, as we have seen that a vector A, आपण जेव्हा एका वेक्टर A घेतो तेव्हा त्याचे दोन कॉम्पोनंट्स असतात, दोन किंवा तीन कॉम्पोनंट्स डिपेंडिंग अपॉन वेदर इट इज अ 2D वेक्टर और इट इज अ 3D वेक्टर, राइट. सो तर वेक्टर ए ला आपण कसं रिप्रेझेंट करतो इन टर्म्स ऑफ कॉम्पोनंट मध्ये आपण काय बघितलं होतं मागच्या सेशनमध्ये, कसं त्याला रिप्रेझेंट करू शकतो आपण. इट वॉज इन टर्म्स ऑफ कॉम्पोनंट इन एक्स into I cap plus a component in y into j cap. This was some value, no? आपण मागचे 7i plus 9 जे घेतलं होतं. So x and y are some constants, some value by which is multiplied to the a, which gives me the component of a on x axis, and y is some value, some constant. In the last example this constant was 9 multiplied to j. So this y into j was a component of a on y axis. So here if I am representing a vector a in this particular format, okay, so what does this vector consist of? This vector consists of two components. One is a scalar component and another is a vector component. It is a multiplication of a scalar component. X is the magnitude, is a constant, right, and I cap represents a vector. Because a vector consists of two components, in the multiplication of vectors we will have two types of multiplication. When a vector is multiplied by some other vector, this multiplication in vectors will consist of two types of multiplications. Okay, so in the addition, while we were adding the vectors or when we are subtracting the vectors should be of the same type, right. That means I can add a vector of force with a vector of force, I can add a vector of velocity with a vector of velocity, fine. But for multiplication both the two vectors can be of a different entity, okay. So not necessarily that the vectors which are to be multiplied will be of the same type. So I can multiply force into displacement if required for any particular equation. So any two different vectors of two different types can be multiplied. Again here now there is one small complication which you have to understand. Now which type of multiplication? As I said, there are two multiplications in which we can multiply the vectors. One is called as a scalar product and second is called as a vector product. Product means multiplication of this. Scalar means a scalar multiplication and another is a vector product. So we have got two types of multiplication. One is the scalar product is also known as dot product and vector product is also known as cross product. So these are the two types of multiplication that can take place when we are talking about vectors. That is the complications that is involved in vector multiplication, right. You had never heard about two entities for multiplication. You have got two different methods. You have only one method into 5 into 6, 6 into 6. Even in algebraic equations the multiplication method was only one, but here in vectors you are going to learn two different methods of multiplication, and throughout the whole chapters we will be making use of either of these two methods to do the multiplication. There is always a confusion in the student's mind, sir, what type of multiplication, how do we know that when two vectors are given which type of multiplication has to be used, right. So while I am teaching you, slowly you will also understand that depending upon the output value you have to decide which type of multiplication should be done. majority of the multiplication which are done are the scalar product multiplication, and vector product is only in very few cases, right? So there are a handful of cases, it is easy to remember, so there will not be much doubts about vector product, and as I have said, most of your multiplications would be scalar product. Now what is this multiplication and what it yields, that is what we are going to see. But first we will see the mathematics behind this multiplication, how and it can be performed and what are the methods of multiplication, and then we will apply it to our physics entities and we will see the results of that. As I have said, we don't call that as a resultant of that, because resultant is used for addition of vectors. Okay, so here we are talking about product of vectors. Now understand one thing, that if a vector is multiplied by a magnitude or by a scalar, the result will always be a vector. Say for example, force is equal to mass into acceleration, right? If I say force is equal to mass into acceleration, acceleration is a vector, I am multiplying it by a scalar, the resultant will always be a vector. The resultant will always be a vector. This is the first law that you have to understand, that when a vector is multiplied by a scalar, the result is always a vector. The result is always a vector. Similarly, now if I have to talk about work done, so the work done is equal to force F. I would now just use the multiplication sign, force F multiplied by distance x. Work done is force into displacement, which is, now displacement is also a vector, force is also a vector. Now here we have a question mark, that in this particular case the result of multiplying two vectors is not necessarily a vector. The answer here is not necessarily a vector. Now here you will be actually using one of these two multiplications, because I have just used our typical normal symbol multiplication, but this will be replaced by the two types of multiplication, that is dot or cross. Cross, like we normally write our normal multiplication cross, so it will be used for vector product, vector multiplication, that means vector product, and a dot is used to represent that the two vectors are being multiplied as a scalar product, correct? So here I have not told you, because the answer will depend upon what type of multiplication we have to do. Now here there is a bit controversy. In physics you should be knowing the type of output that you are going to get when you are going to multiply these two vectors. Now when I am going to multiply force and displacement, I am getting an entity which is called as work done. Now work done is not a vector, it is a scalar. If work done is a scalar, that means this multiplication will be performed by which product? Scalar product. That is how you have to come to that particular conclusion, whether by multiplying two entities, if the result is also a vector, then that multiplication would be a vector product. If the multiplication of two vectors is going to yield or going to give me a scalar value, then that multiplication should be done with the help of scalar product. Okay. Now what the scalar product and vector product is a mathematical way that we will just see. But what is important is understanding how and when to use the dot product and the vector product. As I have said, it depends upon the resultant value. You cannot just multiply f and x using a vector product, because a vector product will give a result in which vector is also available in that as a vector part. But whereas in a dot product, when you multiply two vectors using the dot product, in the result the vector vanishes. and only a magnitude remains, right? So vector products are much more simpler and easy because they give you a magnitude. That vector or the arrow sign on the head of that vector goes away, so the complications also goes away. So here we are going to see the first method, and that is your scalar product of multiplying two vectors. Okay, so let us see the scalar product. The scalar product, right? Now what we are going to learn is just the mathematical methods or the systems, like how when you learn the method of division, right? So how you take a carry, then how you take a remainder, so this process you do the division, right? So the method is being given to you. So similarly now for a scalar product, what we are going to study is now the method of multiplying two vectors with the scalar product, or I would say as a dot product. Both of them mean the same, scalar product or a dot product. Now if there is a vector A and another vector B at an angle of theta. Now let us come back to the same old method that we used to do, that there are two vectors, one is a vector A and another is a vector B, right? Because it is a vector, I have to show this with an arrow on that. Then vector A dot vector B, if I do a dot product of this, is a normal multiplication, say normal multiplication. So I am not showing you any sign, which means is a normal multiplication of the magnitude of A into the magnitude of B into cos theta. This is the simple relation of scalar product. When two vectors are multiplied using dot product or a scalar product, the result or the value of this dot product is given as magnitude of A into magnitude of B into cos theta. So if I say, for example, that a vector A is equal to 7 some value, if it is in terms of say force, right, or so for example work done, that is force into displacement, right? If this is 7 and B is equal to 8, this is displacement, then and the angle between this theta is equal to 30, then A dot B will be given as 7 into 8 into cos 30. This would be the dot product of vector A dot vector B. Is this clear? Now if it is a dot product of vector A and B, we will be having some few case studies in that. So this example I will just rub it off. This was just for you to understand this. Now let us consider a case where angle theta is equal to 0. That means both the vectors are in the same direction. When angle theta equal to 0, how will this vector be seen? That this is vector A and this is vector B. Both of them are in the same direction, so angle theta is 0. So how will I write this down? Vector A dot vector B will be equal to AB into cos of 0. What is cos of 0? Cos of 0 is 1. So we have equal to AB. This also means two parallel vectors. Two parallel vectors in the same direction, when they are multiplied, what do you get? It is just the product of the magnitude of those two vectors. Is this clear? Now so two vectors in the same direction, when they are multiplied using the dot product, what do you get? It is just the product of the magnitude of those two vectors. So suppose if I have to multiply two unit vectors, that is I cap into I cap, this will give me what? Both I caps are in the same direction, so angle between I and I is 0. So this will give me what? Magnitude of I into magnitude of I, but magnitude of I is 1. So it will be 1 into 1, so the answer will be 1. Similarly, j cap dot j cap will be 1 and k cap dot k cap will be 1. So all these three are the examples in which the vectors are in the same direction, so which will yield the value as I into I is equal to 1, j into j equal to 1 and k into k equal to 1. Please, this is a very important proof which we will be using in the next example when we will be multiplying two different vectors in the IJ format, right? So please make a note of this. Now let us see the second case from this, where theta equal to 90 degrees. When theta equal to 90 degrees, what does this specify? It shows that this is a vector A and this is a vector B, and the angle between the two vectors is 90 degrees. The angle between the two vectors is 90 degrees. Now when the angle between the two vectors is 90 degrees, what do we have? We can use the same equation, that vector A into vector B is equal to AB cos 90, because the angle between the two vectors is 90. When the angle between the two vectors is 90, cos 90 will be 0, so it's going to be 0. So if the vectors are perpendicular to each other, then the dot product is equal to 0. So the dot product of two vectors which are perpendicular to each other will always be 0. So this also implies that if I have got two vectors I cap into j cap, so I and j are perpendicular to each other, which will yield a value that is 0. Similarly, if you have j cap into k cap will be 0 and k cap into I cap will also be 0, because all of them are perpendicular to each other. We are going to make use of this in our next example that we are going to take, but for right now, please try to understand that the product of the dot product of two vectors which are parallel to each other will always be 1, and the dot product of two vectors which are perpendicular to each other will always be 0. Is this clear? So this is about the scalar product. Now one more important aspect that we have to understand about the scalar products is that it follows the laws of mathematics. What is the first basic law of mathematics? That is the commutative law. So the commutative law, what does this commutative law says? That vector A, it follows a commutative law. So this commutative law says that vector A dot vector B is equal to vector B dot vector A, right? This is your commutative law that it follows. Similarly, it also follows the distributive law, which says that vector A dot vector B into vector C is equal to this plus will be equal to vector C dot vector A plus vector C dot vector B. This is your distributive law. This is which law? Distributive law. I will just write over here. Distributive law. So this is your distributive law for these vectors, right? So this is where we are looking at the scalar product of two vectors. This is our basic equation. Please note this down, and then we will go to the next session, that is scalar product of two full-fledged vectors. Okay, so you have seen the mathematical methods or the rules of multiplying two vectors using the dot product. Okay, so we have two multiplications, one is the dot product and one is a vector product, or scalar product or cross product. Okay. So since you have seen the scalar product, let us now further go ahead and see how two vectors normally when are given to you in your normal practice, and what should be the answer and how to go about with it. Now, after knowing the rules of the dot product, let us assume there is again a vector A which is given as in form of two components in I and j, or you can take even I, j, k, it is just an extension of that. So let us talk about two axes, that it is represented as some value, maybe A I cap plus B j cap. A and B are some constants, some fixed values, right? Similarly, another vector B is given as C I cap plus D j cap. I believe now you understand how vectors are represented. It is some value in I and some value in j. Here also it is some value in value of A multiplied by I and some value of B multiplied by j. Sorry, here it is some value of C multiplied by I and some value of D multiplied by j. So whenever we do the dot product of A dot vector B, so it will be given as A I cap plus B j cap dot C I cap plus D j cap. Like our normal multiplication, only here there will be a dot given over here. Now I have to open the brackets and start multiplying this with this plus this with this, then this term with this term plus this term with this term. So let us open up and multiply. So let us do this. So this is going to be A C I cap, or let us specifically write it that way. That will be A I cap dot C I cap, right? So I have multiplied A I cap with C I cap plus this with this, that is A I cap dot D j cap, right? Now this with this, that is B j cap dot C I cap. Now this with this, that will be B j cap dot D j cap. Is this part clear? Now we had seen just in the last session that if two vectors are parallel, that is I cap into I cap, what was the answer? Just see your notes. I cap into I cap was equal to 1. So whenever we have I cap into I cap, I will just rewrite this in a more clear manner. So this can be written as A into C I cap dot I cap plus this will be AD I cap dot j cap plus this will be BC j cap dot I cap plus BD j cap dot j cap, right? Now you know the rule that we had seen in the scalar product, that I cap dot I cap will be 1. I into j, their dot product of perpendicular will be 0. J into I, perpendicular product will be 0. J into j, the value is 1. So from this I can write down, if this is 1, this will just be written as AC into 1 is AC. This is 0 plus 0 and this will be written as BD. So this is the value of the dot product of vector A dot vector b. If I am multiplying them using the dot product, this will be the answer, and in the answer you will see there is no vector on any of this, on the head of any of this. So there is no residual of vector in the result of dot product of two vectors when they are multiplied using the scalar product. Is this clear? So if there are some values, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, after multiplying and adding, you will get some magnitude. So the dot product of two vectors will always give you a fixed magnitude, a fixed value, and this will be the equation. The shortcut method is that you need not to go through these two steps. See, what you have to do is, those which are similar terms, the coefficients of the similar I and I have to be multiplied, you will get C. The coefficient of B and D you have to multiply and you have to get BD. So you need not to go through those two steps every time when you are going to do a scalar product. In the physics and in the equations, the kinematics that we are going to use a lot of scalar products. Okay, two vectors will be given to you in this particular form, and you have to find the scalar product to find the resultant of those two vectors, sorry, not the resultant, the product of those two vectors, and which is going to yield us some fixed value. So those coefficient of two similar I and I should be multiplied, from J and J should be multiplied. So this can be extended to vectors which is in terms of Ij and K. So if vector A is equal to Ai plus Bj plus Nk, and vector B is equal to Ci plus Dj plus Mk, they are all Ijk and are all unit vectors. So the dot product of vector A and vector B, as I have said, just multiply similar vectors. Okay, so this will give me A into C plus B into D plus N into M. This is just an extension rule of multiplying two vectors which are in the 3D format, where you are using I, J and K. Okay, so please make a note of this, because these are the type of examples and problems that we will be using throughout our lectures or throughout our sessions of physics. Okay, so this is your resultant of scalar product.